Hey everyone, Irishman the Duelist here, and I'm here to do my tournament report for the September 1st regionals that I went to. I took fifth place. In Swiss, I went 6-1, and then I lost my top eight match to the same person that I lost my uh, round six match to in Swiss. And I was playing Chain Burn. I know a lot of y'all are going to troll me for that, but I just didn't really want to make the effort to build something for the new format until I kind of saw what it was doing, and I didn't want to. So I just went ahead and built something really simple and easy to play for me. Uh, this was my first actual event, or my second event to play it in. My first bigger event. I played it in a locals before the first, and all I did was I had swapped out a pot of duality and a magic cylinder. Played three of one and two of the other, so that it was legal for the before the first. But I changed it up for that. I went X2 in my locals, but then I went X1, and I only like the only one that I lost in Swiss. I actually lost because of a misplay during game three. I forgot that I to activate my reckless greed whenever I should have, and if I had done it before then, because he went into a Barkion, I would have ended up drawing into the Swift Scarecrow to buy me one turn and let me OTK him with burn damage from that point. Uh, or not really OTK, but like finish knocking out the last 5,000 of his life points. Uh, Round one, I played against a hero deck. It main decked a lot of main deck triple Ice Edge, and when Ice Edge deals you damage from attacking you, it will blow up a back row. So at one point, I had him down to 900 and he summoned an Ice Edge and swung at me. So I had to Magic Cylinder it because it was my last back row, and I would have lost anyway. Putting him at 100. Had no more burn cards in my hand, or no cards at all in my hand. Nothing on my back row or anything. And I flipped over a duality for my draw the next turn. And I was like, please just give me a burn card. So I played duality, flipped over Legacy Yatagrasu, Legacy Yatagrasu, and then just desserts. And I flipped it face down in the back row and started shuffling. I was like, good game unless you got an MST or something. And he goes, I don't. And he immediately shook my hand at that point. Uh, then round two, I played Gravekeepers. And then round three, I played Gravekeepers again. That was the first player to get a game on me. Round four, got the round got repaired twice, and then I ended up playing a buddy of mine from Tulsa. He was playing Chaos Dragons, and we got deck checked for the round, and uh, we played down, and like we ended up playing into turns, even though they gave us a 10-minute extension for the deck check. Uh, but we thought we were in time because we forgot about the extension. And then I ended up I had him at 1900, and I had a secret barrel, and I waited for him to draw the extra card, and flipped it over, and I was like, GG, and he goes, nope, chain Mexi. So he only took 1800, and but I ended up drawing into another burn card and gamed him. Uh, then round five, I played a ninja deck. The ninja deck main decked Thrashers and Photon Lizards to search out the Thrashers. Uh, but I sided out like all my card, like I sided out all three of the card Ds, so he couldn't super transformation anything, uh, and just set on back row and lava golems. Then round six is the one that I lost. It was Samurais because game one I won the dice roll. I went summon card D, set five back row, pop off card D for two. Uh, Then I burned him for like 3,000 and drew like four or five cards, but none of them were the Scarecrow. And he proceeded to go Gateway United Dojo OTK. And so then like game two, I ended up coming back and winning that one pretty easily. Then game three, I had a Maxi in hand and a Reckless Greed face down, and he had a face down lava golem because he book a mooned it whenever I summoned it to his side of the field, and 2 level 3s on the field. And so I had the option where I could have dropped the Maxi and activated the Reckless right whenever he started his turn. Which, in all honesty, if I had done that, uh, if he still went to try to OTK me, then I would have won. Uh, but I wanted to wait and make sure that I was able to draw off the Maxi. And I have no idea why I didn't activate the Reckless Greed. And so he goes, normal summon Kagamusha. And I immediately dropped the Maxi at that point, which I should have chained the Reckless Greed at this point as well to draw the extra 2 cards. And he special keys on, and I was so focused on drawing for Maxi that I forgot to say in response Reckless Greed because I knew what was coming next. Because then he went into Barkion, and off the Maxi I drew enough cards to be able to, with the cards in my hand as well, to be able to take out the, because I had a Lava Golem, so I would have been able to take out the Barkion. And if I had done the Reckless Greed, I would have drawn a Swift Scarecrow and a Secret Barrel, which, with the cards that I had drawn off the Max C, I would have been able to take out the Barkion and then deal him 5,000 damage total, so that would have gamed him. But I forgot to activate the Reckless Greed beforehand, and so he negated it whenever I tried to do it after he summoned the Barkion. And then he lost his next round match against Gravekeepers, which I'd been talking with the Gravekeeper guy all day, and he was afraid of playing me because he had nothing in his side deck for me, and he knew, like, both the Gravekeepers that I'd already played that day were running the same exact build, and and he knew that he was going to lose if he played me, and then he ended up beating the Samurai guy, and so the Samurai guy ended up going 4th, and I took 5th, so we played in top 8, and the Samurai player ended up doing some smart moves and ended up really earning the win on that one. And then round 7, I played a hero deck. It was funny because at one point he'd summoned Thunder King and swung at me, and then I ended up summoning a card D, and he tried to super poly, and I was like, for what? He goes, for element to our guy. I was like, how? He's like, I'm gonna fuse these 2 off the field. Yours is an earth. I was like, yeah, but yours isn't a hero. He goes, what? Yes, it is. I was like, no, look down. That is a Thunder King Ryo. That is not an elemental hero. He's like, oh, and he revealed the alias from his hand. He said that he thought he'd summoned that instead, but I ended up getting over him pretty easily. But so all in all, it was a good tournament. Buddy of mine, Kiko 25, he ended up taking 15th, and they gave there's 110 players, so that top 16 got invites. I ended up winning the playmat, which I've already sold. I'm gonna get $80 out of it, so that's a pretty good price for that. Um, I'm gonna play this in the regionals in Tulsa here this weekend. And there's a few cards I'm going to change to the side. Main deck I'm actually pretty satisfied with. Uh, only thing I might consider is main decking a 3rd Lava Golem instead of 2. But alright, so now I'll do the deck profile part of this video. Alright, here is the main deck of the chain burn that I ran. I ran 3 card Ds, 2 Lava Golems, 3 Swift Scarecrows, 2 Power Duality, 2 Chain Strike, 3 One Day of Peace, 3 Jar of Greed, 3 Legacy of Yatagarasu, 3 Reckless Greed, 3 Secret Barrel, 3 Just Desserts, 3 Magic Cylinder, 3 Dimension Wall, 2 Ojama Trio, and 2 Accumulated Fortune. Alright, here is the side. I ran Double Death Wombat, 1 Gores, 2 Max C's, 1 Volcanic Queen, 1 Meteon, 1 Double Snare, 1 Morphing Jar, 1 Macrocosmos, 2 Breakers, and 3 MST. Some things that I'm going to change is I'm going to go ahead and drop these 5 cards, and I'll probably put in like a dark hole, some shadow imposing mirrors, some threatening roars, and like if I can get a hold of it, another Medion or another lava golem to kind of help me get rid of the Barkion, because that's the one thing that I lost to. This is a great card, except for whenever I sighted it in, I always ended up with stuff that I couldn't play it. And the one time I did actually get to play it and get 5, set 5, my opponent mass changed into Mass Hero Acid. And I just feel that these 5 cards I can do without and kind of replace with something better. Because now that I've kind of seen what the format's like and everything. Alright, this is what I ran for the extra deck. I never once pulled any of these out, but I had them just in case. I ran the Chimera Tech, Chrononaut, Logi, and Dolka. These are the only 2 that I couldn't legitimately pull out with the way that I had it built for that tournament. But I ran them just to kind of bluff out my opponent for round 1 and or game 1, to make them think I was playing Dino Rabbits or something like that. It didn't really work very well because it was a smaller regionals, and so after round 1, everyone knew what I was playing. Stillswarm Roach, Grinosaurus, Tempo, Zen Mains, Gachi Gachi, Dark Mist, Utopia Ray, Mystroke, Apple Operative, and Gem Pearl, as well as some tokens that I used to give them all tokens.